Welcome to the bold. There is absolutely no compelling reason why this country, Kenya, should fly 100 members of parliament to Addis Ababa to witness Raila Odinga's AUC vote. It is a blatant waste of taxpayers' money in a country that is struggling to pay pending bills, in a country that school capitation remains a problem. This news of flying MPs is actually displacing, or rather misplacing, taxpayers' money. While the country is hoping for the best for Odinga, but we must also be sure and we must also be keen that as a country we are not doing well. And former President Uhuru Kenyatta is just right to reject President's request on this. Welcome to The Bold. We are going to delve deep into this story. But before that, take a minute first. We are supporting Josephine. Josephine is our project for this month. Josephine is a single mother of 3. She delivered the 3 through cesarean. But of course, the husband disappeared when she was expectant of the 3rd child, never to come back. But of course, through the hardship, even though she got into a hard spell, she's not been forced to hawk the watermelons that she's carrying there so that she can feed the family. But of course, due to the economic tough tide, she also have several past rent arrears, and also it is not very easy, and it's even at a high risk to walk around carrying the 5-month-old baby moving around. As Team Bold Foundation, what we have opted to do after consultation with her is tomorrow we are going to pay the house rent the previous 4 months and another 12 months upfront, establish a business for her so that she can do work settling somewhere, and also pay school fees for the child. Kindly partner with us to achieve this. We are looking at a budget of 150,000. The deficit as we talk is 36,000. We believe, we trust, we've done this before, we will achieve it. Kindly partner with us to be a blessing to Josephine Wambua.
Ni venye nauzanga melon. Hii ndio kazi yenye niko nayo kwa saa hii. Ndio niweze kulisha watoto.
Melon napata pesa ngapi?
Melon napata faida ya 200 na nunua na 200. Ndio kwa saa hii juu sina kazi nyingine na niko na watoto, ndio niweze kulisha hao watoto. Juu si huyu peke yake, niko na watoto wengine 2, sasa wote ni 3.
Kuna watoto 3? Na wako class ngapi?
Ule first born, second born nampelekanga daycare. Huyu juu ni mdogo, natembea na yeye.
Na baba
yake aliacha kama niko na mimba ya miezi 2, akaniambia ameenda kazi, hajawahi rudi.
Sijui nitamchukua na huko, nataka watu wamuone. Yes, kesi yake iko very, nataka experience.
Babake alitoka kwa nyumba akaniambia ameenda kazi na hajawahi rudi mpaka wa leo. Hiyo ilikuwa ni last year mwezi wa 4 date 29.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are flurry of activities at Raila Odinga's Capitol Hill, where the AUC secretariat is based. With the Star reporting that more than 100 members of parliament are seeking approval letters so that they can process their travel documents to Addis Ababa on Thursday. A little bad whispers that some of these MPs who are seeking allegedly to stand with Raila are also seeking approvals for their spouses, and some are for their girlfriends. Questions, however, have been raised about the intent of such a magnitude of parliamentarians. At a time, there's so much under their table, on top of their table, as Parliament resumes. Secondly, questions linger. Who is funding?
Finally, I wonder whether you have the newspaper, or the Star newspaper.
I do, yeah.
I think the headline that we have there is that 100 members of parliament are headed to Ethiopia with Baba. I want to hope and imagine that the 100 members of parliament that are going with Baba to Ethiopia are doing so on their own budget. We cannot just be a spendthrift. Raila Odinga has his own secretariat that has been, that was launched between his team and the team from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There is no role that the members of parliament, in my opinion, are offering apart from the supportive role that we are offering. We cannot then be, as government, sending 100 members of parliament from tomorrow all the way to Saturday to just go and idle around Addis Ababa. These are the kind of things that are choking and hurting the people of Kenya.
But in the midst of all this is a move that is not sitting well, because the president and his team are supposed to fly, and there is one question that still remains. What do they add? What do the MPs add into that election? In the midst of the President Ruto is reported to have reached out to former President Uhuru Kenyatta to accompany his Kenyan delegation with Musalia Mudavadi to Addis Ababa to play some non-existing role called Raila's agent. When you look at the election structure, there are 49 presidents that are supposed to vote for the new AUC chairman, position. And I don't know if there can be rigging for 49 votes, African presidents. But Kenya Kwanza have created a non-existing and imaginary Raila's chief agent. And I think I looked at it, and it is a very trivial matter. Remember, at some point, when Kithure Kindiki was meeting MPs in Karen, this role was designated to Kimani Ichung'wah. It is a trivial role for Kimani Ichung'wah, and I'm wondering, even if there is a lead counsel for Raila, Odinga has a secretariat that has been overseeing his campaigns. Was it not wise for that secretariat to lead if there is anything like such a position? But there is none. So, but of course, President William Ruto just wants to fly with Uhuru Kenyatta to Addis Ababa. Of course, everything will be at the disposal, and according to it is, you will actually be given a chartered jet, facilitation and all that will be done. Uhuru Kenyatta is back in the country, however, is reported to have confirmed his support for Raila Odinga's AUC bid, but declined to commit, but was non-committal, rather declined the request, since he can as well attend as a former president, but not a frontliner, or rather as someone acting as a chief agent for Raila. William Ruto understands well that there is nothing like chief agent needed. No, hakuna kitu kama hiyo inahitajika. But that trivial position is being dangled in the media corridors so that people can have an emotional attachment and can see how Ruto is hands-on Raila's election. And you know, let me tell you, there's some village folks who believe that election in Addis Ababa mirrors the shenanigans that happens at Bomas. The folks who think and believe that you need a chief agent that Raila's vote can be stolen in Addis Ababa. The folks who believe that, by the way, let me tell you, there are people who believe that. And when this story emerges in these media corridors, someone in the middle, and no pun intended, someone in the far end villages will believe, oh, so unaona Raila Ruto mpaka ameenda huko kuhakikisha kwamba kura ya Raila haijaibwa. Well, there is nothing like that. There is nothing like that. The voting is going to happen in 3 tier. 3 candidates all, the Djibouti Raila and the Madagascar one, you must get 2/3. So if the first round is, if no one gets, they pull the last person. They remain with the 2. Then the 2 also will face second round. If no one gets amongst the 2, they remove the number 2 and then remain with the number 1. That number 1 will face the 3rd round. If they go for the 3rd round and still no winner, as in, even if you're alone in that race, you must get 2/3 support. If you fail to get, that election is nullified. And probably I think the candidates can be disqualified. So you see, that is, so when you that is a very clear and streamlined thing, but someone wants to create some conjectures, and to trivialize the whole thing. But of course, we know the people we are dealing with. Interestingly, the deep state is putting an emotional investment in this. But when I listened to Raila yesterday in Bomas of Kenya, he downplays the race as a do or die for him.
Lakini viongozi wa Afrika wakaniambia wananitaka katika Afrika. Afrika iko na shida mingi zaidi. Wakasema shida ambayo mko nayo Kenya, ndio iko Nigeria, ndio iko Ghana, ndio iko Guinea, iko Mali, iko kila mahali. Kwa hivyo ukija hapa juu ya Afrika tupate suluhisho, tutaweka katika nchi zingine zote za Afrika. Unasikia haya? Wakaniuliza, kubali uje uwe kama kiongozi wa bara la Afrika. Nikapiga moyo konde. Kapiga moyo konde na vivi na Kenya je? Na Kenya je? Kasema Kenya iko ndani ya Afrika, sio? Sivyo? Nikasema mimi niko tayari kujaribu hii kinyang'anyiro. Kwa hiyo mimi nimetoka, nimeongea na viongozi wote wa bara la Afrika. Wakikubali, nitakuwa mwenyekiti wa chama cha baraza kuu la African Union. So wakakubali. Kura itapigwa Jumamosi hii ambayo inakuja. Sio? Mimi naenda. Si mimi naenda. Nikichaguliwa sawa. Nisipochaguliwa sawa. Sivyo? Si mimi niko na nyumbani kwetu.
That is not, he really doesn't seem to buy whatever the deep state team are talking about. However, I listened to, and you see Raila is saying there that African presidents, African leaders reached out to him. But when you listen to a podcast, there is a podcast by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs where the PS Korir Singh was talking. And the PS said that Ruto picked Raila for the race. And maybe you can get a snippet of. Yes. Now,
the leadership of the African Union at the very highest level is an opportunity which every country aspires to, because it represents a bestowal of trust and confidence on the part of other countries. The African Union has been led by persons from many regions. East Africa has not had a chance to lead the African Union itself. The last time we led was during the tenure of the Organization of African Unity, Salim, a very seasoned diplomat from Tanzania. He was the last Secretary General of the Organization of African Unity before it transitioned to AU. But since the establishment of the AU itself 25 years ago, the Eastern region has not led it. It is now the turn of the Eastern region. And Kenya is an important member of the Eastern region. Every member of the Eastern region is important, but I think it is generally acknowledged that Kenya carries a lot of weight on behalf of the region, particularly in terms of the refugees burden, the burden associated with negotiating peace deals within the region, the support it gives to a lot of countries in terms of the economy, amongst others. And so because of our leadership, we thought that this would be a good time for Kenya. And in making that decision, then the question became, which Kenyan? Who? And in arriving at the decision of nominating Prime Minister Odinga, I think President Ruto was informed obviously by, number one, the office of the African Union Commission. It is an office that has more than 16 functions. The most critical function is to represent the interests of Africa globally. Africa is now a member of the G20, which means that, or rather the AU is a member of the G20, which means that that person represents and articulates the interests of Africa in that body. Africa is a key member, of various other forums, the Forum for China-Africa, the TICAD with Japan, the US-Africa Summit, many other forums where Africa's interest is at play. And therefore, that position requires a consummate leader.
Question. Number one, Uhuru is right to decline such a role. Not for any reason. It's actually a waste of taxpayers' money to fly those MPs there. I want you to imagine an MP flies. MPs, I believe this is an opportunity for some people to be rewarded, for some Ruto loyalty to be rewarded. And I will not be shocked if a report comes out that Parliamentary Service Commission supported, or rather funded, some people to go and fly. Of course, there is a delegation from Parliament. There's been an attempt even to get delegation from Parliament, delegation from Executive, another one from Judiciary, and all this and all that. But of course, Judiciary is not committal on such arrangement, and is saying, yes, while that is important, but of course there is no need of wasting that much of the money. I want you to imagine MPs flying, the tickets to and fro. They want to fly. Election is on 15th. That is on Saturday, 15th and 16th. That is on Saturday and Sunday. But people want to start flying on Thursday, booking hotels, spending in hotels, and just idling there for 4 days at the expense of taxpayers' money. And it is still a waste of money, because if it is not direct money from Parliamentary Service Commission, then that is a corrupted CDF kitty. Proceeds of the CDF kitty that have been misappropriated. At a country where SHA yesterday were complaining that they inherited a pending bills amounting to around 30 billion from NHIF, and they're saying their hands are tied, they cannot pay. So private hospitals are wondering who is supposed to pay that pending bill, because it is NHIF to SHA, and SHA is saying they cannot take the NHIF pending bills while we are spending all that. Ladies and gentlemen, why is William Ruto pushing Uhuru visibility in this AUC vote? Kindly support. And as before I also get into that, I still remind you, help us be a blessing. Our this month's project to support Josephine Wambua here. Kindly, kidogo, we believe will make it. There are some 4 reasons that William Ruto is looking at. Number one, staging photo optics of broad-based government. And let me explain ideally what is supposed to happen. If Uhuru is to fly with these MPs and Raila and Ruto, while in Addis Ababa, the deep state and the state house photographers will be well positioned and directed to get a joint photo of Raila, Ruto, and Uhuru somewhere in Addis Ababa. That photo would actually be used to, to spark emotions in the country of a working relationship between the three. I tell you, having analyzed politics since 2022, I understand William Ruto's mode of running his politics. He runs a lot of perception. And Uhuru Kenyatta stood saying is disassociated with that. Remember the meeting in December when William Ruto went to Ichaweri, then the next day he made some cabinet appointments, and then that was to look that Uhuru Kenyatta forwarded the names. Only for Kabogo to come in Citizen TV and said, indeed, it was not even Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta never forwarded their names. This would work to portray Gachagua and Kalonzo as peripheral politicians. I want you to imagine where Ruto team gets a photo of Ruto, Raila, Annie, Mudavadi. That is supposed to run a very solid propaganda for President Ruto on the broad-based government. The other issue, the other stake where I'm seeing is managing negative outcome. We all pray and hope for Raila Odinga. Pray that Raila Odinga gets that seat. Personally, ukiniuliza, mimi nataka Raila ende AU. I really want Raila ende AU so that the politics of this country should change. Contrary, and I think I will analyze why I want Raila to go to AU. Why Raila should go to AU. Contrary to President Ruto's thinking that if Raila is in AU, then he will inherit Raila Odinga's bases. The excitement is within a month or so. But when reality will dawn on people that things are not right, I want Raila to go to AU. But, or rather, if Uhuru is to be there and Raila fails, I cannot be shocked to see some state bloggers saying, Uhuru went there and was seen President X, bribed President X not to vote for Raila, and this and that. Or probably Uhuru goes there, then one of the African presidents fails to vote for Raila, and that African president was even seen taking a photo with Uhuru Kenyatta. I want you to look at it. There will be trivial negative statements on Uhuru Kenyatta, and it is really right for him to keep off at this point. Raila akishindwa, then kukue hata yule president wa Ethiopia hajapigia Raila. Na huyu president wa Ethiopia amepiga picha na Uhuru huko. Wachana nayo. The other third issue is Ruto wants to pacify Raila's base and show them how he has invested in that AUC bid. Want to show them, and that is the emotions. I saw yesterday there is already a narrative that was all over here, and someone was saying that if I get it wrong, if I'm getting it right, someone was saying that even if Raila loses, but the level of investment, how the son of Sugoi has invested on this, will go into the record. Watu walishaanza kujipiga kifua wakitafuta a safe net on how to a fallback plan. Now, so Uhuru Kenyatta is a fallback plan. The other issue is to secure a political deal with both Raila and Uhuru post that outcome. Two things. Raila is going to become the new AUC chairperson, or Raila is going to lose. There are only two outcomes in it. Either way, William Ruto wants a deal. Within the country, it has not been easy for him to meet the two. With the new political dynamics emerging, William Ruto will indeed want a deal with both Uhuru and Raila Odinga. Now, if that is to happen, then that will be the platform. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. But remind me, and I want to read your opinion, I want Raila to go to AU. And this question goes to also those who want Raila to go to AU. Give me 10 reasons in the comment section. Nitakuja kuzi explain why Raila should go to AU. I want to tell you why. Personally, I will analyze that tomorrow. Thank you.